Are you familiar with this song? If so, then you know the exact vibe this video is gonna have. If not, you're gonna catch up anyway. This is the painting The Final Stand by Keith Parkinson, and it is one of 3 paintings in this video where we're going to look at his depictions of dark fantasy. Parkinson's work has spread widely across the internet as the visual shorthand for the dark fantasy genre. Make sure you check out his catalog and support them. I've linked it in the description. Imagine you're walking through the halls of an old fortress. The corridors are stone and blackened with age. The only light comes from the orange glow of a forge somewhere up ahead and a faint light from the sky above you. The floor is covered in scattered skulls. In the center of the room, a massive horned red demon, twice the height of a man, is unleashing its fury on a group of victims. A dead warrior is laid out at the demon's feet, blood still fresh on the stone floor. 3 other heroes are arranged to the left. A sorceress with a staff, a kneeling Amazonian, and a paladin in plate hanging back at the archway with his sword pointed at the floor, ready to take the demon on. The Final Stand was painted in 2001 for Blizzard as a Diablo 2 promotional poster. Blizzard describes the scene in plain language. In Final Stand, Keith Parkinson has meticulously depicted 5 mortal heroes in a desperate struggle against the Lord of Terror, Diablo. The mortal heroes of Sanctuary will need to pull all of their tremendous power to defeat the raging demon in his own realm. The painting's composition is built laterally rather than into the depth of the frame. A black stone column rises just left of center and cuts the chamber into 2 halves. The left half holds 3 heroes who have not yet engaged in the battle. The right half hosts the fight that is already underway. Diablo is the largest figure on the canvas and sits at the center of the action, and the 4 living heroes form a loose half circle around him. The viewer is positioned at roughly eye level with the fight, almost inside the chamber and hiding from Diablo themselves. The left half of the painting belongs mostly to the paladin. He is the furthest back of any hero in the painting, just stepping out of a vaulted archway on the far left with an orange glow coming from somewhere deeper inside. He is in full plate and he has a faint holy tint to him, almost as if he has cast a protective spell on himself before walking in. It reads like he has arrived in the final moment as a form of last hope for the 4 heroes who engaged Diablo before him. The sorceress is closer to the column, her staff held vertical and her body angled towards the demon. Her body language is that of shock or terror. She seems to be actively trying to avoid the situation rather than to engage in it. The Amazonian is the opposite. Her posture is more cool than panic, and she has a determined look that suggests she is reading the fight rather than fleeing it. Parkinson has placed her low to the ground and partly behind the column, so the eye almost loses her on the first pass. That positioning seems intentional. She reads as the hero whose contribution to the fight will come from being missed before she spots the surprise strike rather than the frontal one. The right half is the fight itself. The necromancer is caught mid-cast. His right hand is raised with the beginnings of a spell still on it. He is in cloth armor with short blonde or grey hair. At Diablo's feet, the dead barbarian is laid out on the broken stone floor, bare-chested in a red loincloth, and with his blood still fresh around him. And on the back wall, a human skeleton hangs from a chain against a circular medallion. Parkinson has placed the skeleton directly above the dead barbarian, which is a nice little detail in terms of the symbolism of death. Let's move on to a painting where Parkinson does the opposite of The Final Stand. He strips the action out entirely and paints a moment of dark fantasy stillness instead. The Dragon Cave is from 1994, and the brief, in Parkinson's own words on his website, was simple: a black dragon in a dark cave. He notes that he cheated a little by poking a hole in the cave roof to let some natural light in, and that the dragon was meant to read as female, so he gave her a more delicate build. Both choices are visible in the final painting, and both also shape how the composition of the painting works. The painting is built vertically rather than across the canvas as we saw in The Final Stand. The shaft of light Parkinson cheated into the roof cuts down on the left side of the frame and lands on the rocks near the back wall of the cave. The dragon sits on a stone outcrop on the right, wings fully spread, her dark body forming a silhouette against the warm cave behind her. The small figure in white stands on a separate outcrop in the lower center. The figure and the dragon are set at hugely different scales, and the eye reads the figure last. text. Parkinson has made the dragon the center of the painting and the human a footnote on the way to her. Parkinson's brief was for a black dragon, and in the painting her wings and the upper surface of her body read as such. The undersides catches the warm light and reflect the color gold around the edges, which is the trick that makes her readable inside a cave that is otherwise lit by reflected color. Her wings are fully spread, but not in a flight position. They are open wide and angled forward, the way a bird might spread its wings to look bigger than it actually is, which could read as either the moment before a fight breaks out or the moment the dragon is sizing the figure up. Her head is lowered slightly towards the figure, and the frilly appendages Parkinson designed for her are visible around her crown, almost decorative, more like the structure of a fish fins than the horns a male dragon perhaps would carry. Her tail is curled around a large rock formation behind her, and despite the grandeur of the spread wings, her body language is actually quite relaxed. The cave around her is the warm part of the painting and is in direct contrast to the dragon's darker reading. The walls have an almost flesh-toned color palette with pinks, reds, copper and salmon kind of colors, and the warmth plays into the color composition. A lot of dark fantasy art is built around. It feels surreal, almost like stepping into a fantasy or a dreamlike world. The figure in white in the lower center of the frame is the part of the painting Parkinson has left the most undefined. The face is not visible. They have no obvious weapons drawn, only something in their hand that could be a lantern or some kind of spell made cast. Perhaps the figure is a knight out for an adventure, but again, that is just a guess. Let me know your interpretations in the comments. Alright, last painting, and in this one Parkinson strips out every visual anchor he usually relies on and leaves the viewer with just two knights, a tree, and the dark fantasy monster that killed one of them. Return of the Banished was painted by Parkinson as the cover for The Ruby Knight by David Eddings, the second book in his Millennium trilogy. Parkinson painted the covers for the whole trilogy. The painting does not depict a specific scene from the book. It more so captures the tone of Eddings' world. The painting reads in 3 depth bands, and the color palette is completely different from the other 2 paintings in this video. Gray, brown, and overcast, with the light coming across as a lot more natural. The foreground is the creature itself. It is standing on the grass bank with its head raised and mouth open mid-hiss with its lizard-like teeth showing. Its body bends forward across the rocks like it is about to attack the knight. Its scales are spotted in the colors of bark and old water. The middle band is the dead knight. He's laid out at the bottom of the frame with his helmet off. You can see his chainmail and the shield he carried with a small heraldic mark on it. If any of you guys know what the heraldic means, please let me know in the comments, since I wasn't able to figure it out on my own. The viewer is placed low, almost at his level, looking past him into the rest of the scene. The background is the remaining living knight, the tree, and the rest of the landscape. The knight stands at the base of a huge tree with his armor still holding a spear with both his hands. He is looking past the body of his friend, straight at the creature. Now, let's talk about what is missing from the painting, because the absence is the whole point. A lot of fantasy book covers from this time put their action against something grand, a castle in the distance, a sky on fire, to make the stakes feel epic. Return of the Banished strips all of that out. There's nothing in this painting to suggest the fight matters to anyone outside it. The creature is built more like a large lizard. Nothing about it suggests something heroic or epic. The spear could actually kill it, and the knight knows it, and that changes how the painting reads. The other 2 paintings we looked at were fights where the heroes were always going to lose, with Diablo and the dragon both outscaling the people facing them. This one is closer to equal, and being in a fight you could actually win is somehow worse than being in one you were always going to lose, because the responsibility of trying now lands on the knight. What also really sells the painting is the knight's face. The expression is the one a person actually wears when they have just watched a friend die and is now alone with what killed him, and the painting does not pretend he has the situation under control. I really enjoy how the expression really shows the human panic and adrenaline filled moment he must be in, trying to overcome the situation he is facing. So, those were the 3 dark fantasy paintings we covered today. If there is another Parkinson piece, or perhaps another dark fantasy artist you want me to take a look at, drop it in the comments. Likewise, if you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. If you want to support the channel a step further, you can now become a member of the channel. Likewise, I have also linked a few books and art collections in the description that features Parkinson's work. So if you want a physical copy of some of these paintings, or just want to dig deeper into his catalog, that is the place to start. See you in the next one.